What's going on, guys? So with another week down in the books, I have some interesting fragrance choices in this particular week. One very special, which is actually what we start the week with, and it's had a few wearings throughout the week. But we'll talk about all that. A couple brand new releases, something that I just keep reaching for, out the shower favorites, and so on. We've got a lot to discuss here, and it's week number 149. So stay tuned. Starting off on Sunday, I don't know how many of you, actually a lot of you haven't seen the video yet, so I guess this may be the first time you're seeing it for several of you, but I started the day off with TLTG reviews and Zaharoff Evening Mystique. Look at that gorgeous embossed, debossed metal plate. There's a lot of texturing here. So the video that I put out, which I'll link below for those of you that haven't seen it, is a bit more artistic and themed. These are actually raised. There's texturing to everything. This is raised as well. The sun is raised. It's beautiful ambery colored juice. Custom insignias on the side. And that deep burgundy. It's actually called purple red for the cap. Those of you familiar with Zaharoff's atomizers. Puts out just right. I spray it in the air and smell it like I'm not wearing it. I have 5 sprays on. Very, very strong fragrance. Pre-orders open now for those that are interested. And real quick, we'll go ahead and cover this gorgeous box. This is actually a thin layer of metal that's embossed and debossed. Full metallics. As you can see, the same sun, the Zaharoff line. Zaharoff Theater presents Evening Mystique, Business Over Pleasure, Act 2, 4 ounces, 120 ml. And yes, that is velvet. Beautiful velvet, just like the velvet ropes you would find at theaters, for sure. And then here on the back, more metallic print. Absolutely gorgeous. This turned out so well. Abso-freaking-lutely gorgeous. The inspiration here was, well, it's more so I told the story on the website. The inspiration here is continuing the story from Business Over Pleasure. That's why it says Act 2. This is a flanker to Business Over Pleasure. It's a 25% Parfum. It's a super long-lasting fragrance. The sillage is really strong on this one. I sprayed it on, what time is it now? Sprayed it on 9 this morning, so it's a little over 9 hours I've been wearing it. I can still smell it easily without getting close. There's one on each top of my forearm, 3 around the neck. Just got back from my in-laws. My mother-in-law couldn't stop raving about how good I smelled. Definitely check out the other video, the main video, the launch video in the theater. Shout-outs to Kimball's Peak 3 Theater here in Colorado Springs for allowing me the room to film the video. But definitely check it out if you're looking for a little bit more detail with the note breakdown. This one, just to give you a brief summary, opens up very aromatic, bright and smoky. Nice hit of spice. The coriander really pops in the top here. You get a lot of fresh spice, which is one of the notes that ties into the original's DNA. Of course, we're back with Florentine Iris here. It's a soft, powdery, and slightly creamy Florentine Iris because we do have olibanum resin. We have incense on top of that. The cypress kind of adds to the aromatic tone without really jumping out as a green cypress note. And you will get a little bit of the rose super essence, but it doesn't, I don't get a lot of rose. It's more the iris overpowers the rose as far as what floral you'll smell. And there's some orchinox, there's some myrrh, so there's a lot of a balsamic feel to this. It's very, very resinous on my skin. Resinous, smoky, aromatic, and a little powdery floral. Deep dry down, you're looking at a clean and creamy patchouli. It's a gorgeous patchouli that Claude went with for this particular fragrance. By the way, perfumed once again by my main man, Claude Deer. I'm so happy with this one. I can't wait for everybody to smell this. Because this scent profile, a lot of you aren't expecting from me. You assume safe. This is an enigmatic and mysterious nighttime fragrance. Great for the cold. Has great projection early on. Phenomenal sillage. And it's every bit of 12 plus hours. I've clocked it at 17 hours. I've had it on me the next day. It does well. And that was based off of a lab sample for most of the testing because I've gone through 3 of these. This is my 3rd one, and it's about halfway through. And then now I have a macerated bottle It's the only bottle in existence currently. They're not filled just yet, but link down below for pre-order and also for the video. I know I rambled a little bit about this one, but I wanted to go into a little bit more detail with you guys on Evening Mystique because the video I did drop was very to the point, very dramatic, and very themed. It was a short video, kind of out my comfort zone for what I normally put out as far as content, but I wanted to do something very special for this release because this is a very, very special fragrance to me. It's brash, it's assertive, it's in your face. It is the polar opposite to business over pleasure. The hints I've been dropping to you guys in live streams for about a year now on if I got to continue the story, this is what I would do. I've been preparing that the whole time we were working on the fragrance. But anyways, out the shower. So we stuck with the house. Went with Zaharoff Signature Tabac. This is the aftershave splash that goes with the shave soap. Also used some of the body lotion. And of course, some sprays of the fragrance. This is the kind of layering that I like to do, guys. Multiple products of the same scent. That's where it's just a different therapeutic experience from just spraying a fragrance. And the shave soap lathers well, glides very well. It's a nice, smooth, easy shave for those of you wet shavers, traditional shavers out there. And then the euphoric experience after a good shave of this masculine aromatic tobacco with all of its versions and variations. You get more of the base with the lotion. You get a lot of top note with the aftershave splash. And of course, you get the full experience with the eau de parfum. Out the shower, Zaharoff Signature Tabac. Moving into Monday, this has kind of become my #1 fragrance for fall because it's what I've been wearing the most. We're talking about the limited edition Parfum flanker for Club de Nuit Intense. Man, I love this stuff. I spray it randomly on my arm. I wear it to dinner. I've worn it randomly in the evenings out the shower. I've worn it during the day. The only place I haven't worn it is to the gym because this is way out of my range for what I wear to the gym. But I love this fragrance. I still smell it floating in the air. Beautiful citrusy lemon. Still has that sharp lemon without being that harsh chemical edge, that super chemical sharpness of the eau de toilette. No, I haven't tried the original EDP. No, I haven't tried the Pure Parfum. Eventually I'll get to them, but I'm really, really digging this one. I've been enjoying the hell out of the limited edition Parfum. I advise you to get your nose on that one if you haven't tried it yet. This is some really good stuff. Performance is still fantastic on it. It's richer, it's deeper, it's denser, it's darker. It's just better in my opinion. During the day, Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum. Then when I got out the shower, kind of my go-to this year out the shower. Ferrari's Radiant Bergamot. I love this fragrance. Watch, it loses prime every time. Yep, got to prime it back up. Zesty, a little juicy and bitter bergamot, some fresh greens to it, but zesty. Very, very good word. Sharp, zesty edge to it, almost a fresh, spicy quality in many ways. I really dig this stuff. I like spraying it pretty liberally for the most part, 8 sprays plus for lounging around in the evenings in pajamas to edit and things like that and watch TV. That's a lot, but it's a very therapeutic experience for me for being a sharp green, fresh green type of fragrance. Have 2 bottles of this. It's going to be in the rotation moving forward probably. At least once a week I'll wear this because that's kind of been the theme. And out the shower, once again, Ferrari Radiant Bergamot. Moving into Tuesday, I was just in the mood for this one. We had actually went on quite the long hike. And this was my scent that I chose for the hike, and then I refreshed it when we got back home for the rest of my day. It's the original formulation of YSL the Eau de Toilette. I will admit the new version is better. It performs better, it smells richer, it's a little sweeter, it's not as synthetic in many ways, but I find the aldehydes and the freshness is better overall in this one. I have 2 bottles of this one. Still love this fragrance. I don't know, it's just something about it. It gets me going. It's the one I like to wear the most. It's my favorite version of the fragrance is the very first version, the original Eau de Toilette. I love the EDP Live Eau Fresh. I enjoy the Le Parfum. I don't have a bottle yet. I went through a decant. I do enjoy that. I'll get a bottle eventually, but I'm glad I have 2 bottles of this. When they clearanced it out for the new formula to come out, I did secure a second bottle for around $40 from Sephora. Glad I did that because this is one that I always go back to randomly throughout the year. I prefer it in the summer, but it's good year-round. It's signature scent type of stuff for me. It's one of my favorite lighter blue fragrances that I've ever added to my collection. Just really, really good stuff. A beautiful crisp green apple, a nice hit of aldehydes at the top, like I was saying. Beautiful ambergris note. It's synthetic, sure, but damn it, it smells good. During the day, YEDT. Then when I got out the shower, this was actually my gym scent that day and the next day, which we'll talk about in the gym rotation at the end of the month. But Kenneth Cole Vintage Black. Glorified Tommy Bahama St. Bart's. Practically the same scent. Not much of a difference. The one big takeaway for me is Tommy Bahama set sail St. Bart's. It's a little warmer and boozier for sure, but you still get that same citrus, lime, sea salt, aquatic. You get a lot of that. You still get a little bit of the booziness as well. This is not a very loud or long-lasting fragrance, but it is one of the better smelling fragrances in its price bracket, in my opinion. You're good either way. If you have St. Bart's from Tommy Bahama, extremely redundant. Avoid unless you want 2 bottles of basically the same fragrance. If I had to pick between the two, I guess Tommy Bahama's the route I would go because, like I said, it's a little bit more boozy. And actually, for being a lower concentration, it lasts longer on me than this Eau de Toilette. The Tommy Bahama's an Eau de Cologne. But this is some good stuff nonetheless. I was really digging it. I had wore it to the gym that morning, and I was like, let me spray it again after the shower. Next morning, I was still vibing with the fragrance. So I went with it again. Out the shower, Kenneth Cole Vintage Black. Moving into Wednesday, this is one of my absolute favorite flankers, to La Nuit de l'Homme. Underrated when it was out, discontinued, and it gets kind of that I wish I had a bottle discontinued fragrance love these days. We're talking about La Nuit de l'Homme Eau Electrique, not Bleu Electrique. Eau Electrique, which basically smells like La Nuit de l'Homme mixed with Eros from Versace. Man, I've always loved the way this one smells. The sillage on this one's actually pretty good for me. It's not too loud of a projector, but it's pretty consistent when the projection calms down. I get random wafts all the way into like the 7-hour mark on my skin with this one. So performance is pretty much above average, but not quite a beast. Far from a weak fragrance on my skin. I love sniffing on this one for myself. My wife's a big fan of this scent profile as well. She loves pretty much anything YSL, whether it's men's or women's. It's just a brand that really connects with her. She men's and women. She loves when I wear something YSL. I've never wore a YSL fragrance she didn't like, and this is one of her personal favorites. I guess I could say probably in her top 5 because she raves about this when I wear it. I don't know what prices are going for now because it's been discontinued for a little while. I got it for $70 from TJ Maxx a few years ago. I was super happy to find this one. Fell in love with the scent profile. It's great for this time of year, and it was an absolute joy to wear. The geranium really stands out. You still get a lot of that mintiness, the vanilla, but you still get a little bit of that spice that the original La Nuit de l'Homme is known for. It's really, really good stuff. I love this fragrance. So underrated and underappreciated. During the day, La Nuit de l'Homme Eau Electrique. Then when I got out the shower, I've been kind of feeling this one for the gym and out the shower lately as well. Probably going to do a full review after a few more wearings. Jaguar Pace Accelerate, the flanker to the at one time famed and hyped cheap fresh spicy shower gel scent, because it is. That's what it is. It's fresh spicy green, peppery kind of smell. Shower gel. This has a little bit more going on, a little bit more vetiver. Some people compare it to Encre Noir Sport. I've been asked about it. Do I think it's very similar? I would say more than 50% similar, but not extremely similar. This is a much spicier fragrance. Still fresh spicy, but a lot more spice going on here. Like a nutmeg, dry spice, pepper spice. Like it's got a lot of that going on. Plus this slightly earthy vetiver. It's more woody than earthy. And there's a lot of freshness up top. This is actually quite the surprisingly good, cheap fragrance. I really dig this one. So much so that I plan on doing a full review in the near future on this one. I just want to spend a little bit more time with it, really get set in my thoughts and in my ways on how I feel about this fragrance, and then we'll do a full review on it. But out the shower, Jaguar Pace Accelerate. Moving into Thursday, it was back to the well with Evening Mystique, my baby. This is such a good fragrance. Of course, I'm biased because it's from my creative direction and my conversations and collaboration with Claude. It's exactly what I want it to be. I went 2 months with my last modification, and it didn't have the resins at that point. And it was really good. It was what I envisioned, but I just kept feeling like there was something missing. So I finally called Claude, talked to him about it, what I was thinking. I said, can you make one more modification for me? I don't know, my gut's telling me I want a little bit darker, balsamic, resinous type of thing. Can you make me a modification with some resins? He's like, well, I could do another one with some added patchouli, and darken the patchouli up, and maybe add oud. He was spitballing. We were spitballing about what to do to kind of get to where I was thinking. And he made the resinous one first. He added the resins, the olibanum resin and the myrrh were added to this. He rebalanced and reblended everything. And he ended up not making the other modifications because what came out he was so happy with. Before he mailed it to me, before he had Mon mail it to me, he emailed me. He didn't even text me. He emailed me so he could copy them. Ross, I'm so thrilled with how this came out. Call me as soon as you get it. I want to hear your thoughts when you first smell it. I absolutely fell in love. This is exactly what I wanted. I can't wait for you guys to smell this. I can't stop talking about it because I've been dying to talk to you guys about this fragrance for a long time now. And having the full presentation in hand, I'm just so over the moon excited to talk about it. Thank you to everybody that's pre-ordered so far. Keep those pre-orders coming because I can't wait to sign all of those cards and personally pack all of these orders for you guys when we head back to Chicago to pack all the orders in November. I'm just, like I said, I'm over the moon excited. I'm so thrilled for you guys to experience this because I don't know how I could top this. Evening Mystique during the day. Just so happy with this fragrance, guys. You just have no idea. And then when I got out the shower, it was time for a good shave. Haven't used this in a while. Vintage Nautica Aftershave Splash. I haven't used it in a while. There was a time, you can see the dropped level. There was a time I was really going for this. And this might seem a little odd, but out the shower, I was in the mood for Nishane Ani. Haven't been wearing it lately, talked about it recently. So why the hell not? Yeah, it's way, way stronger than what I typically like out the shower. And that kind of plays into later in the week, way too strong for what I like out the shower, but so intoxicating. Such a beautiful amber benzoin vanilla combination, a nice tone of warm and spiciness in the backdrop. Just so alluring. This is such a sexy scent profile. It's gorgeous on men. It's gorgeous on women. It don't matter. My wife's only wore it one time. It smelled amazing on her. But boy, we both love the way it smells on me. This is one that I rave about every time I talk about this one because it's my favorite Nishane fragrance. I'm an advocate for this. This stuff is great. I have tried Neff's. Neff's runs a close second. I need to get a bottle of that. That stuff's very alluring too. But they don't really put out anything even close to mediocre in my opinion. Nishane has my praise as a house, and this particular fragrance, my favorite vanilla fragrance ever made. Out the shower, I went with Nishane Ani and had a good shave with Vintage Nautica. Moving into Friday, this is another new release that the brand sent out to me. I was very excited and eager to try because I was a fan of the Eau de Parfum. And it turns out the Parfum of Roja Parfums Apex is a superior fragrance. The fruitiness, the pineapple, and the orange really jump out in this one, which is surprising. I think they reblended and rebalanced everything, even though it's the same note breakdown. On paper, it looks like they literally just ramped up the oil concentration, and they very well could have, but the way it turned out, it seems like the green notes and smokiness take a back seat early on to the citruses and the fruits up top, whereas with the Eau de Parfum, I didn't get a lot of that, especially not the pineapple. I never picked up pineapple in Eau de Parfum, where I get a big dose of it on my skin with this one. Sillage is massive. This stuff really hangs in the air, makes a nice big cloud around you. It's crazy long lasting, as you would expect. Because at the recording of this is Sunday. I wore it 2 days ago. God, it's so strong. There's that dense green smell, the juicy fruit smell. You get all of that out in the air. This really is good. It's expensive stuff. If you have the EDP, no need to get this. Too redundant. If you don't have either and you have the money to spend, this is the one. But obviously, sample first. This stuff is crazy expensive. Sample first. It's great. It is good. I don't say that because they sent it to me. I say it because I really like the damn fragrance. It's really good. But try before you buy. Super risky blind buy, but an amazing fragrance. Roja Parfums Apex Parfum. Then we got the shower. This is one I've been kind of eager to wear since I talked about it not long ago. Salvatore Ferragamo's Uomo Casual Life. Beautiful violet leaf, coffee, musk, and ambroxan is the main notes you can expect from this one. This is an interesting scent profile. It's got a very unique character and of several different characteristics that typically work well in other fragrances, but I don't recall ever experiencing this combination together in another fragrance. For me, it's quite the unique experience. It's a lovely fragrance. Named Casual Life, does have a casual vibe, but I deem this to be a fantastic workplace fragrance. When you work indoors, fantastic. Very long lasting on my skin. Not too loud. After about an hour and a half, 2 hours, it calms down, like with most fragrances. Typically, when you get to about that 2 hour mark with projection still being pretty strong, you can usually expect some pretty good longevity out of it. And that's the case here. This is about 8 hours on my skin. It's fresh, but it has a lot of body to it with the coffee, the dense musk, and probably one of the main culprits for the performance being some ambroxan. It doesn't have a strong shower gel smell, but there's a little bit of a soapy feel, and I definitely attribute that, mixed with that metallic tone of the violet leaf, to the ambroxan. This is an absolute lovely fragrance that doesn't get talked about anymore. It's still in the sub $40 price point. I saw it all over eBay for 30 some odd dollars the other day when I looked before I featured it in a recent video. Super, super underrated and underappreciated at this point. People still love Uomo's signature and the original Uomo. They still get talked about pretty often this time of year, but one that gets overshadowed, it's criminal, is Uomo Casual Life. Finally, on Saturday, I don't know why I was in the mood for this. It caught my eye. Thought about it. I was like, I haven't wore that in a long time. Wore it. Enjoy the scent. Admittedly, my least favorite in the line is the original. I even like the Cologne, that synthetic aquatic rose fragrance, more than the original 1 million. But I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed wearing this. It still holds up well today if you like sweet and spicy synthetic fragrances. 1 million's always done the trick. Like I said, it's my least favorite one that I own. I have smelled the Parfum. I have smelled the Elixir. I am getting those before the year's out. But I have the Cologne, I have 2 bottles of Privé, and I have a bottle of Lucky. I like all of those better than this one. I reach for those more, mainly the Privé and Lucky. Those are my absolute top 2. Once I spend more time with the Parfum and Elixir, that is definitely subject to change, because the one time I tried them on test strips at Sephora in the last couple of weeks, I was very impressed. I was like, yes, I need bottles of these. But I digress. It takes away from the actual fragrance that I wore. It's not a timeless classic. This isn't one that's going to stand the test of time, in my opinion. But if you're a fan of sweet fragrances, this probably has at least a little spot in your heart somewhere, if this was your style, if not currently, at one point. It's not a bad fragrance. It'll never be a bad fragrance, in my opinion, unless you just don't like sweet fragrances. Then yeah, it's probably terrible. It's a very sweet fragrance. Still performs pretty well. It is a relatively newer bottle. It's only a few years old. It's not some monster in projection and longevity, but it is above average performance, like a 7-8 hour fragrance on my skin, and pretty good projection for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I can't really complain. Wife never really says anything about this one, and she typically likes the sweet fragrances on me, but I did enjoy it. A little bit of the bubblegum sweetness, but the spices kind of kick in and tone that down a bit, but very random pick. During the day, Paco Rabanne's 1 million. And then when I got out the shower, this is what I was referencing when I said the Nishane Ani fragrance. Way more performance than I like out the shower, but it kind of inspired this pick because it's like, the hell, I want to wear it. Evening Mystique, back to it again. I've just been rocking with it, guys. It's, as you can imagine, I'm just so happy and over the moon to wear it, to talk about it, all of that, to show it off to people. It's absolutely gorgeous inside and out. Inside being the scent profile and the performance, and out being the obvious, the gorgeous presentation. So, like I said, can't wait for you guys to check it out. I won't hang on this too much because I've talked about it so much in this video, but out the shower, TLTG Reviews and Zaharoff, Evening Mystique. Well, that's the rotation. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What'd you guys wear this week? Obviously, there's some variety here. There's some cheap stuff. There's some designer stuff. There's some niche stuff. There's some new stuff. There's a little bit of everything in here. There really is. This is as wide variety as it gets, from price range to style to everything. It's a very strong variety here. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of this stuff that was featured, especially this. And you give it a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.